Hey guys, today we are going to be looking at the Transformers Deluxe Class Legacy Elita 1. And yeah, she has been redesigned into this dune buggy car thing. I don't know what you'd call it, but a car instead of a futuristic car, like a dune buggy, more like I don't know what you'd call this. But just gonna take your guns off, and they're done in a soft blue transparent plastic. Um, so yeah, it's just like like more, I don't know, just a car. Dune buggy car thing. It looks a little futuristic, but it's not as futuristic as her regular car that she typically transforms into. So yeah, she has 5 millimeter ports right there. I think those are 5 millimeter. Yeah. So there's 5 millimeter port there, and obviously bottoms of her feet if you don't want. Oh. And I guess if you didn't want this gap here, and you wanted to close up the feet a little bit more, you could use the ankle tilt to maybe do that, and you still get the 5 millimeter ports. And this piece just, if I can grab it, it just comes off. This is an accessory. This is not her actual head, which is kind of disappointing. This is kind of pointless. Who cares about Elita 1's head showing in alt mode that she never had? This is a completely new alt mode that she has. But of course, another 5 millimeter port if you want it. I'm just going to put this back in so I don't lose it. So that's really all I have to say. The rims are painted nicely with this white. They're painted, they're it would have definitely looked a little different if the rims were just all black. It wouldn't have fit the aesthetic, I personally think. But so yeah, there isn't too much to say about it. What you see is basically what it is. And I wish they could have tinted this a little bit darker, the windshield, because you can see the robot or bits inside. That's not really complete, I'm just saying. So yeah, let's just get into the transformation. So I like to just bring the legs out like that, and now you can just hinge them back. And now I like to work at the arms, and yeah, flip her over. I like to just push them in so it untabs it from this red top piece and untabs it from this pink tab. So then you can just swing it out of the way, straighten it out, swing it out of the way. Just disconnect it, swing it out of the way, like so. And now I like to just split the legs and then hinge them down. I like to separate this and just get it out of the way and then swivel the waist. And now I fold that in, bring that down, and now you come to these pieces and you fold those down. Same thing. Straighten her out, straighten out the legs, make sure the arms are in the right position. So I like to have the backpack like this, just flat, nothing with the fenders and the headlights, but per pictures and the instructions, I didn't look at the instructions, but they probably tell you this, or, well, how she is supposed to look. You just hinge these up and then fold it on her back. So like that. They stick up like shoulder pylons, kind of like the Seekers, you could say. Now it's going to give her guns, like so. And there you have Elita 1. Pretty quick, pretty simple transformation. I like it. It's not the most fun thing in the world, but it's not fun because it's like complex. Just it doesn't do too many interesting things to keep me, transforming it all the time. I like the look of it. I like the idea of it. I like the more. I like the different idea of it. How she's not just like a sleek like sports car. She's like a regular car. She's not a. Yeah, I don't know. Just I like the idea and design. This new design of it, opposed to the, frankly, very poor attempt of the Earthrise or the Netflix version of Elita 1. I like the idea of this mold. And I think it works very, very well for Minerva. I don't own Minerva, but for looking at the deco, I think it works really, really well for her. I don't know why she has asymmetrical guns, but I don't really care because, they're just guns. But, gotta talk about something. The backpack. She still has a lot of it. And I have Thrilling 30 RC here. She has obviously a big backpack because her the vehicle mode of most of the fembots with their like sleek, like I guess you could say sports car design isn't conducive to their thinner profile. And even to like the like male transformers, it's not conducive. Just they're so thin and low to the ground. They're not like bigger cars. Like they're not like Wild Rider, like this car. They are very thin, low to the ground, or they're very skinny designs, like the Moon Race, the Power of the Primes Moon Racer, Siege Chromia design. How they're very thin. They're like that wide from wheel to wheel across. And like her, when she's transformed, she's that thin. There isn't a lot to do with that. You can't really displace robot bits without having a bunch of panels, and that gets expensive because you need more transformation steps, and it becomes complex. There are a lot of parts that you need to move around. And I thought that this toy, since she was going for more of a different aesthetic, like a dune buggy, you can do a lot more with that. You have more mass to work with and more panels. Like the panels can be thicker. There could be hinges and ball joints that can displace the pieces. But it's just that little piece of geometry on her elbow that fills in that little piece right there. That little bit. Camera's not focusing, but that little bit right there, and then her legs transform. Other than that, all of it's on her back, just like all the other toys that came before her. And the toy's not bad. None of the fembots are bad as toys. As figures for a collector, they're bad because they give no attempt at displacing the car to the robot, other than just putting it on their back. And for doing a different design like she is, there should have been some more to it. There should have been more transforming than just her legs and somewhat her arms. There should have been more because they had a bigger, more blockier vehicle mode to work with, when it's just doing the exact same thing as all the other fembots. And that makes me kind of upset because I like the idea of this toy. I like the idea that they changed her up. They didn't just go for a whole nother G1 aesthetic like the Netflix one. And that one was very, very poor. But that was at least poor. This one is just disappointing because her head, that little piece right there, they could have done something to like hinge the here. They could have done something to like split the chest and like hinge the head around and back to do that. Like this toy and other toys like it. But they didn't do any of that. They were just like, oh, she has to have that headpiece like the G1 character model. So let's just throw an accessory to put in that 5mm port that we're gonna mold in. For having a brand new design, a brand new idea to her, and not just the same like this like style of car, this like futuristic sports car thing. They could have done a lot more. And I know they have budgets. I know. All Transformers have budgets, and that budget is way smaller than it was many, many years ago. But I know they could have done more with this toy. They could have done something interesting and broke away from the mold. They did it with Air Razor. I don't own Air Razor, but from looking at reviews of Kingdom Air Razor, I know that they can do that. And this toy should have done something similar to that. And I know it could have because they had more to work with. They had a stouter and more blockier vehicle mode. So they could have been able to like there could be a seam down the chest and it could split and that could become, and then hinge up. That could become like the hood or something. Because that joint has already been shown that it can work with this design. You know, it goes like that. But yet they didn't do anything like that. They're just like, hey, it's Elita 1, we're just going to give her a different vehicle mode and we're going to put all this junk on the back of her. And then that hinders Minerva, because Minerva hasn't had a toy since G1, or at least to my... Wait, there was a BotCon toy. I do know that. There was a BotCon toy, but, you know, BotCon. But a BotCon toy, which was a redeco, and it was an exclusive. The original toy was a redeco of Nightbeat, which was a very rare exclusive. And now there's a widespread Minerva, but it is just like all the other fembots. It has a big backpack. As a toy, it's fine. Just like Wild Rider that I reviewed. He's fine. They're good toys, and I don't regret buying them. But it makes me frustrated that they had the chance to make this one of the greatest fembots, and then they could have used it on Minerva to get a really good toy, but they didn't do that. All they did was they went the same exact route as they did before. They didn't change anything. And that makes me frustrated because it is so easy. They had so much stuff to work with. Like the fenders and top of the hood, those could have became the arms. They could have done something. But they didn't. They chose not to, and that makes me angry. Because they took the easy way out when they had a design that is fine, that is cohesive to be able to transform into, to be able to displace the mass easier. I don't know. Just, it's upsetting to see it. It's upsetting that Hasbro didn't do anything, didn't even try to, Hasbro and Takara didn't try anything to attempt to change it up. It's just back to the same old stuff, back to the same old junk that people don't like. And, yeah, I don't know. They could have at least made her, if they were just going to do this crap, they could have at least made her more G1 accurate, you know? But they didn't. They redesigned her a fair bit, you know? I don't know. Just disappointing. But I don't regret not buying it. It's not like trash, like I wish I never bought it, having buyer's remorse about it. But this is going to be a living example that Hasbro's going to be doing the exact same stuff when they have the tools to make something different. But they're not. They're just going to keep making the same junk that they were 15 years ago. And because they don't want to innovate, they don't want to iterate upon ideas that they can just put out to make money. And Hasbro's really lucky because people in the Transformers community, most people are collectors. They're not buying kids aren't buying toys nowadays. And it's more collectors buying this stuff. And Hasbro's lucky because we keep buying it when it's bad. We know it's bad because they will release promo pictures of seeing this stuff. We still buy it anyways. And they're having it good. But, I don't know. She could have been really good, but Hasbro Hasbro and Takar just decided to drop the ball again. So, till next time, see ya.